little Christmas wood splitting Australian block spitter cyclone here. Almost never gets stuck, but sometimes if you have real crosswise grain or something like that, it bounces a lot. Doesn't want to cut knots as well. So in that case, I'll use this. I think it's a falsy Italian. I like this thing. Could beat wedges with it. You could chop with it because it's got like an axe profile, 6 pounds. If you broke the handle, I think you could pretty easily make another handle with whatever you had around. But it does get stuck if you shoot it into stubborn wood. I'm starting to get the hang of this stuff again. And I should have cut this crotch here off already with the saw. Anytime you got crossways grain, it's going to be tough. But if I work with the rings, and I found with this one, bringing it down with the point like that seems to help. Being as it's narrow, it's easier to overshoot or undershoot, but practice makes perfect. So anyway, I'm going to go after this one and kind of, what I do is I kind of work with the rings and crack the rind loose, but I don't split it all the way off because that way it holds it up, and then I go break the rind into pieces. When I get into a solid piece like this, usually what I'll do is I'll run the saw in and noodle it when it's still laying upright. Maybe 2 in here across the grain, because across the grain or across the rings is the hardest way to split. So I'll run the saw in there on the solid parts, and then I can split it real easy. But this log has actually been splitting relatively easy, so I'm going to try this solid section here without noodling it. There's another type of eucalyptus. This is red gum. There's some other stuff that's like yellow. It's got bigger cracks in it. I'll probably do another video on it. But the grain on the outside, you can see it swirls on this a little bit for that outer 2 inches, but this other stuff, it's going almost directly 90 degrees, and it's about impossible to get a good straight split out of it. So that stuff, I think I'm going to go and noodle the rind kind of all the way around and then split it and see how that goes. Doesn't work very good if you get too close to the edge. Here, that's hollow, all those cracks in there, but this fork wood over here is holding it together. There, it's coming loose. Same over here. So now I've got this side kind of broken loose. I'm going to go ahead and split my pieces out of the rind, except I'm too close back here. Once I start breaking it up, it's not too tough of a piece. Working with the rings, I can almost get 1 piece of wood for every swing. Try not to do that. Let's try this hard solid piece here. Oof. There we go. A little bit more. Okay, now that it's broke loose, I can go across and split my piece off. That's a little wide. Get that a lot, being as we're splitting with the rings. End up with wide pieces and then gotta resplit them. There's a tough spot. Woo. Okay. Find the rings and go with them. Come on now. See that funky wood in there? That stuff is where that sharper falsy axe works good for trying to make it shaped more the way you want. And this might be a fool's errand here. Maybe not. That's where it's gonna stop.